Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Prize Picks video talking about Thursday Night Football. We got Jets and Patriots in this one. Excited for this game. Should be an interesting one between these two teams. If you're not on Prize Picks, we got a Caleb Williams free square egg, but also definitely play on underdog as well. You got Garrett Wilson discounted plus a CeeDee Lamb free square over there. And if you guys want more picks from me plus a bunch of other cappers in all sports, definitely join up in the private Discord. It'll be linked down below. So we're going to be posting more for this game. Plus, like I said, all sports. We went 10 of 13 picks on Monday Night Football in the Discord. We had one capper go 6 of 6 in college football this past weekend. I personally went on a 14-2 MLB run in my channel over 5 days. Yesterday went 6-0 in prize picks with my channel. Cashed out some people in the Discord. You could see me and another capper came up clutch with some picks here for a big win. I got guys DMing me in the Discord about some big wins using my picks. So definitely check it out. Less than $1 per day to get access for more picks from me in all sports. You guys saw some of those crazy streaks that we've been going on and some big wins over in the Discord. So definitely lock in. And also, if you guys like projections, check out Prop Projections. They're going to be putting out their spreadsheet for this game for free on their Patreon. You just have to follow them on their Patreon. For last NFL Sunday, they put out over 700 projections that were up on Prize Picks and Underdog. You could see here. You get the spreadsheet for Thursday's game for free by following them. And then if you want to continue, it's just $1 per spreadsheet, so check them out as well with the link down below. So you guys saw those crazy winning streaks in the Discord. Definitely check out the private Discord. We have a bunch of cappers in there giving out picks in all sports. So now let's get into this game. I'm going to start with the Patriots. What I'm going to go to here is going to be a game script where I think the Patriots are going to be down in this, trying to come back, but it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game in this one. So with that game script, it's super important to keep that in mind when you're making picks for a single game, to stick to a game script so all four of the picks can hit or have the best chance to hit. So I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson over on his receiving yards at 8.5. Unfortunately, right when I was making this video, we had this at 7.5. It's bumped up to 8.5. I'm still liking it a decent amount at 8.5 here, but we're going to stick with it. Antonio Gibson is basically a receiving back historically. I think we're going to see that more in this game. He didn't really show it in the first two games, but I think the Patriots playing from behind, going to have Gibson in there on basically all the passing downs here. He's been getting work as a passing down running back, and I think he can hit this one at 9 receiving yards now after it was just bumped up a little bit. So unfortunately, we got a little bump here. Maybe it'll bump back down to 7.5, which would be ideal. And if we take a look at Antonio Gibson over here, I can show you on Outlier, which they do have a free trial. If you want to check them out, just look down in the description for the Outlier free trial here. You get it for 7 days. We've seen it on the season. 0 receiving yards in that first one where they were commanding the game against the Bengals, and then actually playing from behind against the Seattle Seahawks. We only saw 7 receiving yards, but I think we're going to see an uptick in snaps and targets for Antonio Gibson. So looking at Antonio Gibson last year, this was something he hit 75% of the time last season. He was a big receiving running back, has been basically his entire career. I think he's going to be in line for more snaps in this game and get more targets, more catches, and be hitting this one. So I am liking Antonio Gibson. Looking at the snap count for the Patriots, we saw Stevenson already a decline in his snap counts, 78% in week 1, then down to 72%. We saw Gibson slightly up from 22 to 24% of the snaps. I think we're going to see that be higher, like I said, because there's going to be more downs where they're going to have to be passing in this one. So liking Gibson to play more snaps. And last year, we saw kind of the same trend for Stevenson. If we're looking at last year, he started out week 1, 73, then 73% of the snaps. Week 3, dropped down to 65 of the snaps. Never saw over 70 until week 12 here. So I think we could see a similar trend start going to a pass-catching running back more, like we saw last year when they started giving Elliott more snaps starting in week 3. And for the second pick, I'm going to go to Demario Douglas, under on his receptions at 2.5 here. Douglas just not a guy that I think is going to be in line for a lot of targets in this one, which makes 2.5 catches pretty hard to get to. So if we look at him on the catches, you could see in the first game he did get 2 catches. Second game he got 0. He got those 2 catches on just 3 targets, so he would have had to obviously catch all of his targets. And then last game, he got 0 targets, 0 catches against Seattle. When they were playing from behind, you would think that he would have been getting some targets here when they're trying to come back in this one passing, but didn't even see a target in this game. If we come back to the Patriots snap count, we saw Douglas see a slight decline in snaps here. So 60% of the snaps in week 1 and then 56% in week 2. And we also saw Jalen Polk see more snaps than him in week 2, and also KJ Osborne. We also saw Hunter Henry be way more involved in week 2, taking away a ton of targets from the receivers. And we know that the Patriots do like to throw to their tight ends a lot, so that just takes away more from Douglas and may now even be the third receiver behind Jalen Polk. After he had a solid game as a rookie, they might try to get him more snaps, more targets in this one as well. So not liking Douglas to get 3 catches in this game. I think they could be moving more towards Jalen Polk and the tight ends, and hopefully Antonio Gibson as well here. So moving on to some Jets picks now. Going to go to Aaron Rodgers in this game. Going to take him over on his pass yards at 213.5. If there's one way you can attack this New England Patriots defense, it is through the air. So I do think that Rodgers is going to be throwing a good amount. We've seen him actually throw a good amount early in the season already when we thought, the Jets were going to be a run-heavy team. We've seen Rodgers throw the ball quite a bit. I think that's going to continue. I think he can hit this one in this game, and they can attack the Patriots through the air. Could be a tough time running the ball here. So if we actually come over to Outlier and look at Breece Hall, we could see the Patriots second in rushing yards allowed per game. So only allowing 58 rushing yards per game. And as far as rush attempts, they only allow 17.5 rush attempts per game as well. So going to go away from the rushing game, and I think the passing game can have a nice day in this one. Looking at Aaron Rodgers, the pass attempt line is at 30.5. He threw 21 and 30 in their first 2 games. So good to see him throwing 30 passes, and the line is pretty high up here again. For pass yards, we haven't seen Rodgers hit this one yet, but good to see him throw 30 times last game. The Patriots 27th in the league in allowing passing yards, 233 yards per game they've allowed. So I think it's going to be a good spot for Rodgers to hit this line. I'm liking him on this one. It's 214.5, 215.5 on these other sites. We're getting a slight discount here, 213.5 on Prizepicks. Just last week, we saw 327 yards from Geno Smith, while their rushing attack of Seattle averaged just 2.4 yards per carry. So you can attack them through the air, not so much against the run here. So I do think the Jets will go to the pass here with Rodgers, and I think he can have a nice day in this one. And with Rodgers, going to pair him with his favorite receiver here, Garrett Wilson. Him on 5.5 catches. I think definitely a down game for Wilson in their last one. I do think that they're going to try to force him the ball more in this game like they did in week 1. So I am liking the Jets to go to Wilson a lot here, hit 5.5 catches for him, and have some big plays to help get Rodgers that yardage at 213.5. So looking at Garrett Wilson on Outlier, that first week we saw 6 catches in the game. We saw him targeted 11 times. Last week he caught just 4 balls on 6 targets, but the Patriots allowed the most catches in the league. They're ranked last, allowing 27 catches per game. So definitely good to see for Wilson there. Also last season with Wilson playing, with much worse quarterback play, he hit this nearly half of the time in half the game. So I am liking what he could do with Aaron Rodgers in this game, and I think that's going to be a nice stack for us against the Patriots, who allow a ton of catches, a ton of yards through the air, and have a really strong run defense. In a closer game, I think that the Jets will have to throw this whole game, but could be having a lead. But to hold that lead, could be going to Wilson a lot in this one. So liking Rodgers and Wilson on this combo as well. And if you guys want more picks in all sports, definitely check out the private Discord here. I post more for this game, plus post an MLB, WNBA, and we have a bunch of other cappers posting. You can see we went 10 of 13 on our picks on Monday Night Football. Another capper went 6 of 6 in college. I went on a 14-2 MLB run over 5 days this last week. Had another 6-0 Prize Picks day in my channel yesterday, cashing out some people in the private Discord here with our cappers picks. So definitely get in here and check it out. You could see some of the private Discord members hitting some big slips. It's less than $1 per day on the monthly plan, or less than winning just a $5 3-pick slip on Prizepicks. Also for this game, if you guys like projections, prop projections, putting out their spreadsheet for free on their Patreon, so follow their Patreon for free to get their projections for this game. They posted over 700 projections for NFL Sunday, and you can get that for just $1 after you follow them for free over on their Patreon. We'll see you guys over in the Discord for more picks in all sports, and subscribe to the channel.